Welcome to Hardly, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today, we study together Patricia Wiltshire's book, The Natural History of Crime, Studies in Death and the Clues Nature Leaves Behind, in which we probe into how nature's smallest traces unravel the darkest secrets of crimes, revealing the truth hidden in the soil, plants, and even the air. Professor Patricia Wiltshire has worked on over 300 criminal cases across the UK, including some of the highest profile cases of the past 25 years. Don't go away. Hardly, the editor, will be right back with the story. I'll dive straight into it with 3 unforgettable stories that show just how powerful nature's smallest traces can be in solving crimes. These cases stick with me because they reveal not only the horror of human actions, but also the incredible ways in which the natural world silently bears witness to our darkest deeds. The first story takes us to a seemingly mundane patch of grass by a quiet country road. A man had disappeared, and the police were at a loss. No body had been found, but an abandoned car gave them a starting point. Patricia was called to the scene, and what she found was far from ordinary. In a shallow ditch beside the road, the grasses had been flattened in a way that suggested something heavy had been dragged through them. But it wasn't the disturbed grass that held the key. A few pollen grains from a rare plant species found only in specific areas led Patricia to identify the exact location where the body had been hidden. The subtle clues in the grass and pollen were enough to pinpoint the spot where the man's body was eventually recovered. The natural world had spoken in its quiet way, revealing the truth when all else had failed. Our next story takes a turn into the eerie silence of a dense forest. A young woman's body was found, barely covered by a thin layer of soil and leaves. The killer had tried to hide her, but Patricia noticed something peculiar. The leaves that had been hastily thrown over the body were not native to the area. The types of leaves found on the body did not match the species growing in the immediate vicinity, she noted. This small discrepancy led to the discovery that the body had been moved from another location, a nearby park, where a witness later came forward. The leaves had given away the crime, providing evidence that connected the victim to the place of her murder. Once again, the smallest details in nature had unraveled a secret the killer thought he had buried forever. The third story brings us to a gruesome scene in a suburban home. A woman was found dead, her body showing signs of a violent struggle. There were no witnesses, no fingerprints, and no obvious clues. But in the folds of her clothing, Patricia found a single grain of maize pollen. This was strange because there were no maize fields nearby, yet the victim had been in contact with maize recently. That single pollen grain, almost invisible to the naked eye, was the clue that led to the killer's doorstep. The maize pollen, traced back to a farm where the victim had been just days before her death, connected the dots between the crime and a man who worked there. This tiny speck of nature, so easily overlooked, became the linchpin in solving the case. Each of these stories shows how nature, in its smallest forms, can witness and reveal the darkest secrets of human actions. The pollen, the leaves, the disturbed grass, all these seemingly insignificant details held within them the power to uncover the truth. This is what makes forensic ecology such a powerful tool in criminal investigations. It's not just about finding the obvious clues, it's about understanding how nature interacts with our actions and how it records those actions in ways we might never imagine. In these cases, nature provided the evidence that solved the crimes. The patterns in the grass told a story of movement and weight. The leaves spoke of origins and misplacement. The pollen revealed a journey and a connection that would otherwise have been missed. These small traces are like nature's fingerprints, unique and impossible to erase, even by the most careful criminal. This method of investigation teaches us to look beyond the obvious, to consider the subtle and the overlooked. It's a reminder that our environment is not just a backdrop to our lives, but an active participant that can hold us accountable. The smallest things, a grain of pollen, a fallen leaf, can speak volumes if we only know how to listen. Forensic ecology is not just about solving crimes, it's about understanding the delicate balance between humans and the natural world. It's about recognizing that every action leaves a mark, and those marks can tell the story of what happened long after the people involved are gone. The natural world is always watching, always recording, and it never forgets. As the editor of Hardly, by studying these cases, we can prepare for a future where our relationship with nature is not just one of use, but one of respect and understanding, where we learn to see the invisible connections that bind us to the world around us. In the end, what stands out most from this exploration is how nature's smallest traces can unravel the darkest secrets. One story that particularly resonates involves a farmer who was found dead in his own field. The cause of death was initially unclear, but Patricia noticed something unusual: a pattern of tiny fungi on the farmer's boots. These fungi, typically found only in a specific type of wet, marshy soil, didn't match the dry conditions of the field. This discovery led investigators to search nearby marshlands, where they uncovered evidence of a struggle and eventually found the weapon that had been used in the murder buried deep in the mud. The fungi had quietly pointed to the truth, unraveling a mystery that might have otherwise remained unsolved. This final story serves as a powerful reminder that the smallest details, often overlooked, can hold the key to understanding and solving even the most perplexing crimes. The natural world, in all its quiet complexity, is an unwitting witness to human actions, and it's in these minute, often invisible traces that the truth is found. By recognizing and interpreting these traces, we not only solve crimes, but also deepen our respect for the interconnectedness of all things. It's a reminder that nothing we do goes unnoticed by the world around us. Nature holds our secrets, and with the right knowledge, those secrets can be revealed.